Shiur number 28, Semicha Yud Ches, Sif Yud Zayin. After Litain, Soinin, on a Mecham, you have to put something cold on a Mecham, on a kettle, I fill the Hafshir, even just to make it lukewarm. Kol Sham Mechem Cham Kol Kach, if the kettle is so hot, if you were left with it so long, it could have come with the bishul. This is really the same thing as Sif Yudalid, the Gimel Yudalid we had before. Why? The din of putting something on top of a mecham has the same din as putting something next to a fire. If it's not that hot, the mecham, then it can't make the thing you're putting on top of it. Then it's mutter. And the Chaim here trying to figure out what's the chiddush of Sif Yud Zayin.
First of all, they're talking about the Baruch Sonin that's raw, right? Not something cooked.
So David Sonin has to be, we're talking about something that's raw, never cooked before, or it's a liquid. A David Lach, like cooled down, according to the Ramah, according to Ashkenazim, it has to be that's cooled down totally, completely, and then you can't put it back up. But if it's still lukewarm, it's not a problem of bishul.
Something cooked, that's not a davar yavish that's cooked.
A davar yavish that's cooked is no problem. A davar yavish that's cooked ain't bishul lacha bishul.
So why? So I don't think does yavish even come into the picture?
No, yavish is not coming into the picture. This is not talking about davar yavish.
Unless it's raw. Unless it's raw,
not cooked. Well, that's a raw thing, which is not cooked, which usually doesn't happen.
No.
Paris.
Yeah, Paris. So the Chachamim want to figure out, trying to figure out what's the chiddush over here. I remember Pshat, I'm not sure where I saw this, or I'm not sure if I did see it, but that over here we're talking about. Tonah we spoke about putting it Keneged HaMedura. You're putting it next to the fire. Here we're talking about putting it on Gabi HaMecham, on top of something that's on top of the fire. You're not putting it actually next to the Medura. So it could be when you put something on top of a mecham, it usually doesn't get so hot. And we're not scared you're going to leave it there, it's not derech lavash leisham. So the chiddush of the mechaber is, even in such a case, it's also to put something on top of a mecham. Which if you think about it, and to put something next to the fire, it becomes very hot very quickly. Put something on top of a challah pot, you don't think it's also b'chlal. It's on top of a pot, or it's on top of the fire. It says the mechaber, no. As long as it could become a yat to let this boy, it's also. And we make the gzeira. That means even though you're putting it there only for 10 minutes and you're taking it off, or even putting it there for an hour, something you put on top of a challah pot, you can leave it for an hour until it gets yatzlat this boy. It takes a long time to get yatzlat this boy. Still, it's also. If it's possible after a long time for it to get to yatzlat this boy, it's also.
If you put on the challah pot, it never gets so hot.
So if it never gets to yatzlat this boy, then it's mutter.
This modern this time.
Yeah, if it's not so hot, mutter. If it can't get to yatzlat this boy, but if it could get to yatzlat this boy, even though it takes 3 hours,
maybe the kitchen is cold. You know, the cold kitchen is very hot.
Yeah.
But not
yeah. So it depends if it could get to yatzlat this boy or not.
We were talking about what's the difference between that and let's say a blech. I mean, no, not a blech, like, one of the plata chash malit, it's not a meicham. It's just because it's not something that you can see, that it's not usually a surface that you cook on, even though you put it onto a meicham. What actually would actually be the
what is to put it there or?
Yeah. So so I'm saying is the whole what is the whole idea of putting on top of something, on top of something.
Okay, there's two problems. One problem is Mexican mavasha.
Right, Mexican mavasha.
Yeah, you can't put it on the fire itself. You can't put it because of Mexican mavasha. They were talking about a place like Abba Mecham where there's no Mexican mavasha even. Okay, Sif Yud Ches. Ha'elbot v'akadera, with this pots. She'avirim reischem me'agabe ha'or. You took it off the fire and it's very hot. Im loin is pashal kol tzorchoi. Ein matziyim bekaf mehem. Shenimtza megis. We have here a new halacha here, something called megis. Megis means to mix. If you mix something, to stir. If you, lav dafka means to stir, because even to mix something is a problem. If you have cholent that's boiling hot, and you're not stirring it, you're mixing, you want to make some parts have more liquid than the rest, and you want to mix it that everything should be the same thickness, that's also megas. That's also megas. Mixing is also megas.
Isn't just taking a serving.
Oh, so we'll see. We'll see if that's real megas or not. So even though you're not being mavashal mamish, you're stirring or you're mixing, then it's a problem. Now megas is a problem because megas helps bishul. It helps to be mavashal the food. So before we see it inside, let me speak out a few things. Okay, well, it's easier that way. So the real megas is to stir, to mix something that's not in a special called tzarchai. Something that's not fully cooked, and you mix it, you can help the cooking process, and therefore it's also to be megas.
Even if it's machal ben drusai.
Even if it's machal ben drusai, if you hold machal ben drusai, still has bishul. We're talking about something that wasn't in special yet. It's issa bishul. Now we learned already when it's something called nisbashal, it's a machlokes.
Right.
It's machal ben drusai or nisbashal called tzarchai. So we'll get to that soon.
Yeah,
but once something was cooked, once something is cooked, there's really no issa of megas. Only for whatever darga you hold of cooking, before it was fully cooked, then there's a problem of megas.
So coming back to that cholent,
Yeah.
if it's fully cooked.
Yeah. We'll get to that. Yeah, we'll get to that soon. That's if you're mixing it. To take out with a cup, take out with a spoon, is not really megas. You're not really mixing it. Just taking a spoon in and taking it out. So it's not really a megas.
And you're not distinguishing yet between Omid Gabi Yechiel.
No. I didn't get to that yet.
Yeah.
So to take out with a spoon is not really megas. Megas means to mix it. But just to take it out with a spoon is not a real megas. That, come out, all the Achronim say, taking out with the spoon is an Issa D'Rabbanan. Not Issa D'Oraisa. It's not real megas. If you look in the Shiur Kuf Lamed Zayin, it speaks to Amafurish. We'll have it more in the Taz. But Shiur Kuf Lamed Zayin says, Abba Yitzaz HaKaf is Surei Hurak Midrabanan. Shehu Ke'en Hagasa. It's like Hagasa. So Shiur says Mefurish, beginning of Kuf Lamed Zayin, that taking out with a spoon is not real megas. It's Ke'en megas. So it's a D'Rabbanan. So you have to keep that in mind. Just take out with a spoon is only an Issa D'Rabbanan. If you want to take the challenge when you're taking out with a spoon, you're mixing it, then already it's regular Hagasa, Issa D'Oraisa.
Rabbi, can you say that that's also the case even in the Machaber? Like, is that learning in the Machaber? Because the Machaber is lush and it's kosher. It doesn't like Rabbi asked me.
Yeah, but it's Issa D'Oraisa, Issa D'Rabbanan. It's an Issa D'Rabbanan. It could be it's an Issa D'Rabbanan.
He just says it right.
Yeah, this is you can't do it.
Mavashel means mavashel.
Means midrabanan.
Okay.
So that's all. If it's not a special, if it wasn't cooked, if it's a special called tzarchai, if it's cooked, or if you hold macha ben derasai is called cooked, then there shouldn't be any problem. Once it's cooked, you can't cook it again. Ein bishul achar bishul. So there's nothing. What's the hagasa? What are you doing? It's already cooked.
But most of Hagasa usually we're talking about only applies to liquids, or mostly applies to liquids. Therefore, it is subject to bishul after bishul.
So I'll tell you this:
you wouldn't do it with it right? You wouldn't do it.
First of all, even my liquid, yes, bishul after bishul when it cools down. When it's hot and it's cooked, ain't bishul after bishul.
But the
Here we're talking about it's hot.
Right, you're talking about like yeah.
It's hot, so ain't bishul. Even davalach. As long as it stays hot, it's not shaykh more bishul. The only chiddush of lach is when it cools down, then you could do bishul again. But while it's hot, so a person in the mechaber before, even double lach, it's not shaykh bishul anymore.
Right, but hot means what? Al gabe eish or
hot means yatzulad boy.
So
yatzulad boy.
You have to figure out when you take your cholent off the pot, and you're at the table.
Okay, according to the Sfardim. According to once it goes on the yatzulad boy, then you may have bishul achar bishul. But according to Ashkenaz, until it cools down, you have no issue.
No issue.
So, and the truth is the hagasa that he says only by davalach. The truth is, if you have, let's say, soup, you take with the ladle from the soup. Is that called hagasa? So the person will say no. Hagasa is when you have solid and liquid mixed together, and you're mixing it helps to cook. Something that's a pure liquid, water or soup, is not shaykh hagasa. So sticking a ladle into a soup, even though it's alo eish, we'll see soon, and it's not a special called tzarchai, doesn't make a difference. Hagasa is not shaykh by liquid.
Even if it's pure liquid, you have still have a vegetable, but even pure liquid, you don't want to have, let's say, the oil. So you want to just stir it so that it becomes spread more.
Yeah, so if there's oil inside,
No, the soup is not pure water, right? There's something
Because
there.
you have the soup. I mean,
you have to know if there's oil inside. It's called Hagasa. Means you have to realize Hagasa means by mixing it,
It's nicker.
you're making it cook better. Are you adding anything when you
no,
mix?
but you're definitely changing the. After it's cooked, you certainly don't want to.
Say because you have some schmaltz in there, you have some oil in there.
Yeah, so you do it.
Okay, the price is about water for sure not, plain water not, and I've seen, I think Moshe says it, that even soup is not a problem of Hagasa. Because it's a liquid. A pure liquid is not Shaykh Hagasa.
What if it's a
When you
thick
have,
soup?
what?
What if it's a thick
No,
soup?
it's a thick soup, it's Shaykh Hagasa. It's thick, it's Shaykh Hagasa. But with a clear soup, I think as the Moshe says, it's not Shaykh Hagasa. So when you worry about sticking your ladle into the soup pot, you're okay. You don't have to worry about it.
What if it's a liquid soup, plain liquid soup, but it's got noodles inside?
So that's the question. How much? How thick it is? If you stick the ladle in, the noodles are on the bottom. You're not affecting the noodles at all.
Mm-hmm.
If you mix it, it could be it's a problem.
Even if it is mixing, it's not changing the noodles.
Maybe help them cook. Maybe help the noodles cook. Right, so now let's see the mechaber, and we'll see the halacha l'maita. Elbut v'akadera, she'avim reis k'mi al-gabi or a pot they take off the fire. Im loy nispashal kol tzarka, it's not fully cooked. Ein might see him b'kaf mehen. Then now I'll take out with a spoon. Now we just saw the sharatzin that is because of an issa d'Rabbanan. Shenimtza megis, you are being megis. V'ikkim mishum mevashal. But when nispashal kol tzarka, if it's fully cooked, mutter. If it's fully cooked, there's no problem of hagasa. You can do whatever you want. Avol l-liyu, if you put wool into a pot, if you put it in, you were dyeing it, even though the dye came into the semen already, it's already dyed. Also, the haggis boy is still not allowed to be megas. I'm not sure why being megas on Shabbos, but I'm not sure why being megas on Shabbos, but also the haggis boy. Pierce with an anaya oyster bekaf, to move it around with a spoon. Why? So here, the Taz speaks out. Avol tzemer sivkan chav beis. The Taz says, "To v'zeh yesh mishum tzeveya." Here you have another issue. Forget about bishul. You have an issue of tzeveya. Hinam isha tzemer tzarich harbe bishul kachos avarosh. Tzemer needs a lot of bishul, and no matter how much you cooked, it's never enough.
But if it's already inside, why is it? What are you doing to add? It's already color.
No, you're mixing it. You're mixing the color into it. When you mix something on the fire, you're helping the color get into the semer.
But it's fully colored already. What's that
So
color?
it was ash color.
He's saying they've never finished.
So bishul never finishes. But
Okay, so basically you have cotton in a yoreh from before Shabbos, and it's sitting on this fire because it takes a long time, and you want to.
Yeah. So then you can't do it.
Right.
Either because of seveya or because of bishul.
You were asking once it's already completely died.
Hagasa, what case are we actually talking about? Because if it's not machab and if people are hold machab and the drusa isn't special, you're fine. But you can't put anything on the fire which is before.
No, it's on the fire. On the fire, it's on a block. It's on a block.
I'm looking at the infas for kedera.
Oh, no, sorry. Here he took it off. Sorry, here he took it off.
I didn't go.
He took it off. It's off the fire, and it's not fully cooked, and you want to mix it off the fire.
Okay, so we're talking about the case Hagasa is off the fire.
So yeah, here's off the fire. We didn't get to on the fire yet. Here's for sure on the fire. It's a problem.
Yeah.
For sure on the fire. If it's not a special called tzarchoi, for sure if you want to take chal on Friday night, and it's not a special called tzarchoi, and you want to stick the spoon inside, you have an issue. If you want to take chal on Friday night, and it's not a special called tzarchoi, you want to just stick the spoon in and take something out, it's a big issue. We'll see soon if it's had for that. But that's a typical case of the mechaber. Usually the chal on Friday night is a special called tzarchoi.
Right.
Usually, but if it's not, and you want to take some out, then it's a problem of hagasa. Haga, says the Rabbi, you should be careful, even by a kedera, not just by tzemer l'yera, by a regular pot, you should be careful b'cholinin. Even if it's a special called tzarchoi, you should be careful.
Careful what?
Not to do hagasa.
Not to put this.
Not even put a spoon in. So we'll see everything in a second. So from the Ramah itself it says, means not even to put a spoon into the pot take something out.
You wonder how Mrs. Ramo took out the cholent.
Yeah, had to take out the cholent. Let's see. That's what she did.
Well, actually, it's
No, it's supposed to be used.
no, the Mishnah verse says that you pour it into.
Yeah, no, so that's what it says. Look at the Magen Avraham. Sifkar Mendal, look at Chila. Va'oilem nagu heter b'minei kitniyos. They have certain types of beans. Shemetzin oisan bekaf. Kivin the ef shebe'inyan acher. Since there's no other way of doing it, so you're allowed to take it with a kaf. But here he's talking about only by the special called tzarchai. That means the Ramah said the special called tzarchai is still also. Says the Magen Avraham, if there's no other way of doing it, you can't pour it. Then there's a head to take out with a kaf. Only in which case by the special called tzarchai. V'yeshna mamisha ismaichu ayam asher gesavdi tzimation al-gimel. They have a hutu b'samach. So the Magen Avraham comes out. He goes with the Ramah, and he says if you have no other way of taking out something from a pot, even though it's a special called tzarchai, then you have a head to use a spoon. But the chatchil, according to the Magen Avraham, what should you do? You should pour it out from the pot into the plate. If you could do that. We'll see. We don't pass on as Magen Avraham.
Is the core case here that it's still a laish, or it's
no, not a laish. No, not a laish. We're talking off the fire.
Right.
We'll get to on the fire soon.
Still kli rishon.
Still a kli rishon. Yeah, we'll get to on the fire soon. We didn't get to anything around the fire. Everything here is even off the fire. Kolshkan al laish.
Right.
Kolshkan al laish. So here, the Magen Avraham goes with the Ramah and he says that if you have no choice, you could use a spoon by the special called tzarchai. But if it's not the special called tzarchai, the Ramah or the Magen Avraham never give a head to use a spoon. Lo in the special called tzarchai, the Mechaber says there's an issur of hagasa. But lo in the special called tzarchai. The special called tzarchai is with the Ramah's machmir, and the Magen Avraham goes with the Ramah. The Taz.
Isn't there an issue even when you pour it out? I mean, the solution is to pour it out. Even when you're pouring out, it could be mixed.
That's not called a gospel. Once you pour it out of a kli rishon, it's not called a gospel.
No, but when you're pouring it, there's still going to be mixing.
I guess only if it stays in the pot, the mixing helps.
Okay.
If you pour it out of the pot, it doesn't help.
Okay.
Fine. Let's see the Taz. The Taz says, Sifkar Chav Gimel. Go through the whole thing quickly. The main part is the end. After Kedera. Sham kosam merivayel she'ein lehega sham v'kaf t'havik mevashel. Because Amina perikam the Shabbos v'yer akura v'tucha v'chein v'isir beis marizal. U'masha kosam perikam the Shabbos ein raya t'sham mayim etzem l'yeira t'chom mitzvei. Mashkot v'samach av'chan kfar espashal kol tzarchai mutter. Chen kol zayit v'say sim shit chaf aleph v'eitz parer. So he's saying if it's a special kol tzarchai mutter and it brings a raya from Simon Seif Simon Shin chaf aleph v'eitz parer, which was a wooden sticks they would use to mix the pavatech agdera, the mutter mitamshik farnas bashal. And Shinchaf Aleph is mefurish. They allowed to go ahead and use the eitza potter. Eitza potter was a wooden stick they would use to mix the pot, and that was the special called tzarchai. Therefore, was mutter. So you see, agasa is mutter even in the kli rishon after the special called tzarchai. Extra achakah. Okay, he said the task like this. Near the fear near slightly. So it's so ba'alma, the lishum hipuch b'kedera, to take out with a spoon, without mixing it at all. Ela likach chaticha, ein kan zehiris. You don't even have to be careful. So it has right away is arguing in the Magen Avraham. The Magen Avraham says, even a special called tzarchai, if you have no choice, then use a spoon. But if you have a choice, you should pour it. The Taz says, ein zehiris. Ava pishal in a special called tzarchai, osir, even though by the loin is special called tzarchai, if you take it with a spoon, it's aser. Benigmar called tzarchai, ein lahachmer b'yitzah. When it's a special called tzarchai, you don't have to be machmer at all to take it out with a spoon. Rak sheyachmir lahapach b'kedera harayt lahachmer. If someone wants to be machmir, not to mix it, then you could be machmir if you want. So the Taz is very mekel. Taz argues in the Ramah. The Ramah says, l'chatchil yesh l'zor, even when it's special called tzarchai, says the Taz, to take it with a spoon, nothing to worry about. You take your cholent pot off the fire, you want to take it out with a spoon, according to the Taz, l'chatchil, it's no problem. Even to mix it, says the Taz, that's a chumrah. If you want to be machmir, don't mix it. But take it out with the spoon is no problem.
Take out the shon. What's the problem? Oh, you put it back.
No, you put it back. Take it off. And it's
okay.
But
you never plan to put it back?
But it makes a difference. That's the halacha here. Take Elpas like there's a video with skin. You took it off the fire. You can't mix it. So if it's like a special called tzarchai, Taz says no heter. Even with a spoon, just to take it out. The special called tzarchai, Taz goes the other way and he says it's a mutal lechatchila, and if you want to mix it, then maybe you could be machmir. Arguing in the Magen Avraham. And the Mishmur goes with the Taz, and he says it's no problem. You go ahead and you can take out with the spoon the cholent when it's off the fire. Fine, that's when it's off the fire. Now, we have to go back. We left off on Magen Avraham, in the middle of Magen Avraham last week. Magen Avraham Sivkot and Mem Beis. So the Magen Avraham says over here, I'm not sure what it is in the Rosh Hashanah, it says a Kosev HaMagid Mishnah. It's like a 4 or 5 lines from the end of the Magen Avraham.
Yeah.
You see it?
Yeah. Third line from the end.
Because of our Magen Mishnah.
No, on the other side.
It's Sivkot Mem Beis, almost at the end, like 4 or 5 lines from the end.
The white line, the third line from the
Yeah, the other one is here, right here. Because of our Magen Mishnah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines from the bottom. And also from Aruch.
Yeah, I know that one.
You have it?
No, that's not that.
The old one, it's 5 lines from the bottom. You have it?
Yeah.
Okay, because of a Magen Mishnah, one time you make it, it's a problem. Once you mixed it once already, the below megis with special potter. Without the second mixing, it's already going to cook anyway because you mixed it once. Mixing it 10 times is not going to help you. Potter.
So if you do it before Shabbos, you do the mixing.
Yeah, so according to this, you'd be okay. If you make this before Shabbos, the question is, you have to make this at a certain point. If you make this right in the beginning, it's not going to help. So we're not Semicha on this Magen Mishnah.
Is this talking about Nishmas or only?
No, lo Nishmas. By lo Nishmas.
This is lo Nishmas.
Lo Nishmas, yeah.
What's help by mixing when it's lo Nishmas?
Because you help it cook. You mix it, but it's not fully cooked. You're helping it get cooked.
But for after it's cooked?
No, after it's cooked, there's no problem with Gosel Chayra. According to the Mechaber. According to the Ramah, there is. But b'vada d'v'hakol, kol she'ein v'vishulay chiyav v'gom v'shelas kol tzarchai, ein ba'gosoi ba'gososoi chiyav ad chal l'shoinai. He says mefurish that when it's matcha kol tzarchai, there's no problem of megis. Right, that's the Mechaber. The Ramah says yesh l'hachmir, which is an issa d'Rabbanan. But Magen Mishnah says, "Ain't ba'gasasai chiyuv." Once it's a special called tzachai, there's no din megis at all. But by Seisif, Simvei Gimel Kosu Shem HaKolboy, the megis chayim Shem HaVashel, afilu b'kedeiru mevusheles, even by a kedeiru that's fully cooked, called tzachai, called ma'at shehi ala eish, ayin sham. As long as it's on the fire, there's the chum of the kolboy, there's a chiyuv hagosim midaraisa. That means if it's a special called tzarchai, even the Ramah who's machmer says yesh the zoher, it's a drabanan. The kolbai comes and says if it's on the fire, then there's issa gosim midaraisa. Even if it's a special called tzarchai.
And that would apply even to scooping it.
So if you hold that agosa is an issa deraisa when it's on the fire, like the kolbai, so then midrabanan you can't scoop it. Then midrabanan you should be able to scoop it on the fire. That's what comes out according to the Kolbai. Chiddush of the Kolbai, Moshe and Shuvah says, even though we don't understand the reasoning for the Kolbai, if it's fully cooked, what can happen more? It's cooked.
That's what the Ramah says too. It's the same thing.
Who?
Ramah says the same
no,
thing.
the Ramah says there's no hachmas, it's the Rabbanan.
Okay, but why is it fully cooked?
No, it's a gzeira. Maybe you'll do one. It's not fully cooked.
Yeah. Maybe that's the same zero.
No, but he says deraisa.
No, but the
Kolbai holds it is a deraisa.
I'm saying, but the Kolbai maybe says it's a zera.
No, the Kolbai says it is a deraisa.
No, the Ramah was machmir. He was machmir on rishon off the edge.
Right.
Kolbai was machmir right
on the fire. Correct. So the Kolbai has a chumrah of a deraisa. If it's a special called tzarchai, if it's ala eish, it could be a gosim midaraisa. It's a chumrah of the Kolbai.
We can't really know when it's fully cooked.
So Moshe says like this. Moshe says even though we don't understand the Kolbai, if it's fully cooked, we know it's fully cooked, it's fine. So what should be issa? Says Moshe that even though it's fully cooked, sometimes we have something inside that's not fully cooked. It's hard to know exactly if everything is fully cooked. Therefore, when you make it could be that there's one part of it that you're still being mavash. That's how much it says.
You could never scoop out from the children then.
Oh, so according to this, you wouldn't be able to scoop out from the children when it's on the fire.
Yeah, but you can.
When it's on the fire, take it off the fire, you have the cooler of the taz. When it's on the fire, you have the chumrah of the kolboy. So you can't do it.
You could take it off, scoop out. And
yeah, we'll get to that frame in a second, right? Oh, so rather there's a Chazon Ish that says, let's say Friday night, you want to take challah, the famous question, you want to take challah on Friday night, what do? So if you have someone to help you, you take the challah pot off the blech, and then you put it back down. You never put it down. But no one's there to help you, and it's a Shabbos Kuch Nefesh. You have to have your challah Friday night.
That's only if you're. But that's only if you have a group of tumah.
Yeah, it's not group of tumah. Yeah, of course, only if it's group of tumah.
Right, but that's That's
only if it's group of tumah. It's not gar for cotton. You're not allowed to put it back on.
Then you can have problem with chazara. You hold it in the front, you can't put it back.
So the Chazon Ish says that it's better to leave it on the fire and take out with a spoon than to take it off and have a problem of putting it back on.
Why?
Because taking out with a spoon, the cold boy didn't ask to take out with a spoon, he asked to hagasa. We're going to say, therefore, taking out with a spoon is also.
It's not considered hagasa.
It's also because of the Rabbanim, maybe the same way we asked it by loyas partial called tzarchai to take out with a spoon.
But practically speaking,
says the Chazon Ish that you can take out with a spoon, leave it on the fire, and take it out with a spoon. Don't mix it. So if you want to mix it, take from the bottom. You can't do that. Take it out with a spoon, and it's okay. That's what the Chazon Ish says. The Moshe is very machmir. The Moshe says no, you can't do that. Since the Kolbei holds Allah Eish is an Issa De'iraisa of Agasa, therefore you want to take it with a spoon, you're not allowed to. The Moshe says the only Eish to do it is take it off the fire, hold it, take it out, and then put it back down. But while it's on the fire, says the Moshe, since the Kolbei says Allah Eish is an Issa De'iraisa, he's never had to take out with a spoon while it's on the fire. And the Chazon Ish is Mekel. So now it depends. A lot of places, I remember who holds what. But a lot of places can go back and forth. So Zalman, Yashiv, which one is better?
Seems to be a kula on a crock pot.
On a crock pot because you can't put it back in. On a crock pot, because the shadow of the crock pot, it's atmana, it's not atmana. If you like take it out and you're putting it back in, it could be an issue. So therefore they say leave it on the fire, take it out with the spoon, don't mix.
Right.
You have to be very careful not to mix.
What if you have a piece of kishka and it's on the bottom, and you want to get that piece of kishka out with your children? You got to go to the bottom.
Okay, so if you do that, you're not mixing it. You go to the bottom, take it out.
Practically speaking,
it's not called mixing. It's not called mixing. It's not called mixing.
Kavana isn't to mix.
What do I like to eat? I think it's well, you leave it on and eat. I think I heard that you leave it on and you take it from the top.
For which one?
For when you chop on the fire and take it from the top.
In a crock pot or in a pot? Crock pot. Makes a difference. In a crock pot they make go.
If you look in the Mishnah Berurah Sivkar Yudches, Sivkar Kuf Yud Gimel, Mishnah Berurah says, "She'aviram urusachim, noket she'aviram l'rabusa dafilu b'zeh aser, kishlo nisbashal kol tzarchai, u'b'nisbashal kol tzarchai, afilu oimed agabe yaor, mutter l'hoitzi b'kaf, keim masha b'seisef." The special called tzarchai, the Yisrael himself holds, there's no problem of agasa. You can take it out with a spoon. But el-liyu masak the Yechiel b'zeh. The el-liyu says you should aser. Why? This is because of the kolboy. If you look in Kuflam on the Vav, I think it says, Ken echech min kolboy. So to take it out while it's on the fire, you have an issue with the kolboy. And then if you look at the Mishnah Berurah and Sivkar Kuf Yud Zayin, on the Ramah says that you should be machmir even by a special called tzarchai, af b'kedera, elo yehapach hakedera l'kaira, v'lo b'kaf. V'ayim b'achroinim v'neginim l'hachmir b'zeh. Look at the achroinim, we don't go with this chumrah. It's not like the Magen Avram. The Magen Avram says we do go with the chumrah. Kidneys, we have no choice, you could do it. Says the Mishnah Berurah, we don't go with that chumrah. The be'emes ikke k'masher chsavnu etchila the mevusha kol tzarchai afilu lehegis mutter. Chumavur l'kamon v'simeshin chafal sif yutaz, which is it's a horror. V'roitz l'hachmir yachmir ba'agotsa mamish. Aval l'hoitzi b'kaf ein l'hachmir klal v'nispashal kol tzarchai v'eino alo eish. So that's the Mishnah Berurah says. The nispashal kol tzarchai, it's not in the fire. Ein l'hachmir klal, take it out with a spoon. You have to be machmir. Alo eish, already you have to be machmir.
There's a slight difference between how the Taz learns it. The Taz says that if you want to take it out with a spoon, he says it's mutter. If you want to be machmir, go ahead and pour it out.
No. If you want to be machmir, don't mix it. No. If you want to be machmir, don't mix it.
Rashi yachmir lahafa b'kdeira.
Meaning what? Lahafach means to mix it, not to turn it out. Lahafach means to.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that.
No.
It doesn't mean to turn the pot upside down.
It doesn't mean to turn the pot upside down. It means the lahafach b'kdeira means to mix it in the kdeira. I think so.
Oh, really? I thought it was to turn it over.
We thought it was to pour it out.
No.
He says ein lahachmir ba'itza rak.
Right.
Rashi yachmir.
What does that mean? Ein lahachmir ba'itza rak sheyachmir ba'itza. It doesn't read that way. Ein lahachmir ba'itza rak sheyachmir.
Lahafot b'kdeira.
No, ein lahachmir ba'itza. Don't be machmir. Take it out with a spoon.
Lahafot b'kdeira. As opposed to...
How would you read it?
Okay, that's the way I read it.
Ein lahachmir ba'itza. You should be machmir. Somebody take it out with a spoon. Rak sheyachmir.
So he's saying also to...
Yeah, it means to mix it.
He doesn't talk about Hagos itself.
Right.
The Berurah seems to be saying...
That's what it means. The lahafach b'kdeira means to mix it in the kdeira.
So when you have your cholent on Shabbos morning and it's hot and things like that, I mean, truth is, you do want to stir it.
That you shouldn't do. According to the Mishnah Berurah, they shouldn't do it. Truth is, you don't have to be machmir. If you want to be machmir, only be machmir on that. That's how you don't have to be machmir. If someone takes a chocolate pot off the fire and he wants to mix it
up,
you can do it. You can do it. Unless you want to be machmir, don't do that. But don't be machmir, take it with a spoon. So it's not good to be machmir too much.
Why don't you just put it in the bowl and serve the bowl?
No, because sometimes there's a lot of liquid on top, and you want to mix it up.
No, but when you put in the bowl, it's everything is mixing.
It depends if you put it in one bowl, but if you put it in two different bowls.
Oh.
If you buy a kiddush and there's a big chocolate pot, usually the top is liquid and the bottom is solid, so they have to mix it.
Okay.
So you could do it.
I mean, at home it's no problem. We put in one.
It's a big chocolate at home.
Yeah.
Okay, Sif Yutes. Also, toyach shemen v'shum al atzli. You know, like smear oil, shemen, v'shum or garlic al atzli. V'oidoi kineged hamadura when it's still next to the fire. Afilu nitzla hatzlim b'yidai, even though it's fully cooked by b'yidai. So chamakam is partial hashum v'ashemen. By smearing on it, is going to get cooked. So if you have something that's hot, so he says over here kineged hamadura. But the Shach and Tat speak out. Memhei, Keneged Amadura Lav Dafka Duad Nimur Seach, Shiyat Ledes Boy, Mashkosef Sifei Chavtas Chemash Velas Rashi, Chachos Apaiskim Yardea, the Dover Shehu Gush, Afilu B'Klusheni Mevashel. Anything that's a gush, even a Klusheni, it's Mevashel. So you take something, you take a cholent out of the pot. You have a hot potato, you want to smear some, I don't know, whatever you want on it. Margarine on it. You're not allowed to. Why? Because it's a double gush, and it's yatz letters by it's mevashel. We'll see in a second. The venerally the beshumin mutter, shemen is aser, oil is aser because it's a liquid. Yes, bishul achab bishul b'davalach. Shumin, which is a solid,
margarine,
like margarine, margarine which is already cooked. Most of the margarine today is already processed as cooked. So you take margarine, you want to put it on a hot piece of toast. Let's say you have something, you want to put it on a hot potato, or corn if you have hot corn on Shabbos. So according to this, you're allowed to. The Mishum Mutu L'Toichai. The Ein Boy Mishum Bishul K'Mashur Gesafti Sif Yud Vav. There's no problem with Bishul. This is what we had last week. A Davar Yavesh, something that's solid, and it turns into a liquid. If you put it on while it's a solid, there's no problem of Bishul. Therefore, if you have margarine or butter and you want to smear on something hot on Shabbos, since it's pasteurized and it's already cooked beforehand, And so davar yavesh, ein bishul acha bishul, and it's mutter. And then he says, "U'shum noilad leka, have a noilad, in making the shuman into a liquid, to keep in the ein of en. Since when it's melting, it's not en. Now, what's the problem noilad over here? You're doing it. You're smearing it on. You're doing a biyadayim, as opposed to just putting it on. So even just putting it on, it could be a problem. If it would be be'en. Right? Putting it on, putting it by a fire, we saw last week that the Ramah is machmir. Right? We're going to Baruch to say for a truma, to put it by a fire, it's awesome. To put it at room temperature, we said you're not doing anything to be a dime. But to put it on something that's hot, according to the Ramah, it's awesome. Why here is a mutter? Since not be'en, you put it in. It's like putting it into a kais, like we had last week. You put it into a cup, and it's, even though it's next to the fire, it's mutter. And here the Magen says a chiddush. You shouldn't be merasik b'yadayim. You shouldn't smear it on. Because once you're pushing it on, you're smearing it on. It's called a risik b'yadayim. Raki nechenu olav ma'at. Put on a little bit. And it'll melt by itself. Maybe this is called the because we had by Kedera it's called the but Tzarachian, the here it should not be called the because the Kedera, you see the shuman on top. Usually the margin you smear something, you don't see it on top. Unless it's called seeing it on top, and the top layer you may see some of the margin sitting around.
Or it's glistening.
Yeah, or it's glistening, so that's could be, it's called the But what the Magen Avraham says over here, the l-liyu will be a dayim, means what? Even though I'm putting it into something, let's say it's not called be'en, you can put it on a little bit at a time, but you can't be merasik it be a dayim. You can't smear it on with your hands. A lot of Achronim argue, and we'll see in Simon Shin Chaf, that it says if you put ice into a cup, you'll not be merasik it be a dayim. Because even though you're doing noilad, you're making it into water, but when it's happening, it's in a cup of water, it's not be'en, it's mutter. So a lot of the Achronim argue on the Magen Avraham, and they ask, Rabbi and the Tilda, they both ask on the Magen Avraham, they will see in Simon Shin Chaf, that the rasit b'yadayim, the teicha kais, is mutter. You're not to do it into a kais, because then it's not be'en. As long as it's not be'en, when you finish with it, it's okay. So here also, to smear margarine onto something, the chayra should be mutter, even, not just to put pieces, even to smear it on, the chayra should be mutter according to those achronim.
How could you say it's not the end ever? Because there's always going to be a few drips of a wet margarine you can see that come on. If you talk about corn, even if you put a little bit, okay, maybe most of it drips into little crevices. So
then the rest is bad.
But there will be a few drips that come down.
So then you're right, a piece of corn, yeah, but if you have a piece of toast, it all absorbs into the bread.
Yeah, okay, I see that.
And in a case where it's bad, it's a real issue. But in a case where it's not bad, so the question is, he says Sarachin, he says that could be it's called bien. Could be it's called bien, because you may see it on the top layer, so it could be it's called bien.
And he just leaves that in the Sarachin. He's not sure.
Leaves Sarachin, yeah. He doesn't answer it. I think they might say the person got matzah to smear margarine on something on Shabbos. They say it's not called bien, you're not even smear it on because risk for your dime is mutter as long as it doesn't stay bien.
No mak patish?
Huh?
No mak patish?
No mak patish, no. You don't have the mak patish, right?
And this is assuming only that the potato is yatsa lettuce.
Yeah, only yatsa lettuce. If it's not yatsa lettuce,
if it's just warm, then
you can't do it.
Yeah. No, but if it's warm, there's no problem with bishul. But if it's enough to melt it, no else could be a problem.
Margarine melted at room temperature, so you can't do the no.
Margarine doesn't melt at room temperature.
No?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Okay, we can make a hadra now.